Welcome to another episode of Dynasty Pylon. My name is Martin. I am here with Mark. We are recording this Tuesday night, pre-recorded. Had to wait for Mark to come home and be a little with the sorrows
Little
of
bit.
a son's loss. So, yeah, man, how did that go?
It was horrible. It was
I,
horrible.
Dude, I was watching it and heard while I was kind of like looking it up, and then I didn't really watch it, unfortunately. But hey, good luck, or I mean, awesome to the Bucks fans, right?
Right. Well, I mean, it's been
But
50 years since they won it, so
yeah, I was like 70 something,
71.
70, yeah,
Yeah.
71. So yeah, so well, good for them. Well, that sucks for us,
Yep.
but hey,
It is
uh,
what it is.
it is what it is. But today we are focusing on IDP as Mark W. No offense taken, but this is the individual defensive rookie linebackers that are coming in to the NFL. We are going to go over the top 5 linebackers that should be on your guys' rosters as you're probably behind your veteran linebackers. If not, if you really believe in them, maybe they could potentially be the number one guys there. Um,
Or at least be on their their radars when they're drafting.
oh, for sure,
Like, you
100.
definitely need to look out for these guys. For
Yeah,
sure.
100%. I mean, most of these guys were taken in the first. 2 of them that were mentioned were in the second. So they're all good.
One of
They're
which
all,
should have been in the first.
which very interesting, and we'll get into that. Which I think both of us in the entire nerd
Yeah.
huddle was actually surprised that he was not in the first. But so the first the first guy that went off the board was at 12th overall by the Cowboys, and that is Micah Parsons. Now he's the guy out of Penn State. He was projected to be the first linebacker all of 2019, and as 2020 came rolling around, same. Eventually, he did not play in 2020, but his skills and abilities in 2019 showed that he is what he was, the most elite linebacker coverage. He was just all around guy. He did have some trouble in college with a kind of a hazing thing in Penn State, but I think that's in suspension mode right now. I'm not entirely too sure. I know that I kind of like saw it that they're kind of pushing that. It wasn't entirely him, but we'll see how the NFL handles that. I don't think they're going to do much about it. I think it was kind of swept under the rug. It wasn't as intense as much as the media made it. So, but Micah Parsons, he's coming in as the main key defensive guy there as a linebacker, middle linebacker, and he's going to basically take over your boy, Van Der
Not,
Esch.
not my boy anymore. I dropped him.
Well, but he was your guy.
He
But
was.
he's still playing there for another season, correct, Van Der
Yeah,
Esch?
I think this is his last year on his rookie contract. I
Yeah,
don't think they picked up the 5th year option.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't. Not that I blame him. Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I mean, he seems to be having a quite of an injury prone profile in his
Mm-hmm.
career. I know last year you didn't have him for almost what 7 to 8 weeks,
Yeah, something
which
like
was
that. Yeah.
neck. Yeah, so it was almost half the season. So uh, I mean, Micah Parsons is coming in. Uh, I knew he was going to be good. I knew he's going to come in like as I did not see him going to the Cowboys. However, it's a good fit.
Yeah. Oh, it
I'm
is.
not surprised. I think that's a good spot for him too. So um, definitely see him going as the second tier type of linebackers ahead of some of the actual veterans themselves. So I mean, behind uh, you know Bobby Wagner, just maybe about that range, about the 12th or 13th linebacker off the board in your IDP leagues if you're doing IDP redraft. But I mean, for me in rookie drafts, I might actually gun for him, one of the beginning guys. Um, I think he's going to be. I think he's going to make an impact play on his rookie year. I mean,
Oh, I agree. I agree.
um, however, I know we both don't agree with. Well, at least I know I don't agree with the defensive coach, and that's only because my hatred towards Dan Quinn. He was a former
Head
defensive
coach.
and head coach at Atlanta.
Yep.
I've been wanting him gone for years, and he's finally out of there. So I don't care what's going on. I think the new guy, whoever it's just going to do just as fine or just as better as or good as him. But I'm fine. The only difference is that he brought in some of the safeties from Atlanta with him, including Keanu O'Neal, who
Just
rumors.
like Van Der Esch can't stay healthy.
Yeah, can't stay healthy, but they're bringing him into linebacker, which is very interesting. So you got Van Der Esch, Parsons, Keanu O'Neal, Alden Smith, even Lawrence plays a little.
Alden.
What?
Not Alden Smith.
Yeah, he plays a little bit. Doesn't he have the edge?
It's
Him and Lawrence
Tyron Smith.
Well, they play that edge, that DN, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I don't think they have Alden
Lil
Smith
Mackerel.
anymore, though.
What's up?
But I don't think they have Alden Smith anymore.
No,
I thought he went somewhere else. They have Tyron Smith, who plays outside linebacker.
Okay. Well, I mean, either way, it's the main focus is Micah Parsons is going to be the guy.
Yeah, no, he will.
So I definitely see him making big time plays there. So
well, half of the people we just mentioned will be hurt after week 3. So
yeah, that's very true. So he might be the only key defensive guy there anyway. So
exactly.
But I mean, Dallas, they went hard on defense and on their draft. I think they might have got a receiver later in the rounds, but the main focus was just nothing but defense, which is very different for Jerry Jones to do. So I mean, but he went hard and he got Micah Parsons. He got his guy. So hey, best of luck to him.
It is, but it makes sense though if you look at the way their team's set up. I mean, they didn't need receivers. They didn't need running backs.
Oh, no, they didn't. But you know what's funny? It's like they still made a splash play with Micah Parsons.
Oh, no, I agree.
I mean, Jerry Jones is notorious for that. So
yeah,
they bought him, and
I think he'll be a superstar for sure.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that as well. So
I mean, as much as I don't want it to happen, it'll
happen. Well. Unfortunately, but you did get in your division another good key linebacker who we'll actually get into shortly. Who, in my eyes, I think is my number 3. But according to the draft rankings, he is also 3. So, but the next following guy who is here local, Zaven Collins, he was drafted 16th overall. So. Unfortunately, yeah. Well, when we first heard about him, he's like, "Oh wow, okay, that's a big surprise," because one of our other linebackers that we'll get shortly to was not drafted at this point. Instead, Zaven Collins was. Obviously, the Cardinals organization saw something different in what most of us had seen, but he basically came in and he was told he's taking the lead role. So with I think one of the linebackers is actually went to from Arizona to Carolina. He's actually playing for them now. And then another linebacker is actually they told him, "Hey, dude, go look for another trade." So they're all in for Zaven Collins. So Collins is going to take over. He's going to be there with Campbell, and he's also going to be there with Chandler Jones. He's also coming back off injury.
Isaiah Simmons,
yes. So I mean, it's going to be an interesting backfield of linebacker. I would hate to be a running back there.
Me too.
Are going to have a quite.
Doesn't matter which direction you're going.
No,
there's going to be a bruiser there to stop you.
100, yeah, for sure. So Zaven Collins, unfortunately, is getting into a little bit of legal trouble lately, but see how the NFL handles that. Apparently, he was going 76 to 78 miles an hour in a 35-mile zone. So he is facing some charges there. So with that being said, I don't know if there's going to be a suspension within this year or
maybe a fine. Say a fine at the most.
Maybe.
Even if there's that, I mean, just a speeding ticket.
I mean, I know Arizona we're on a grid. We're not like roads that are curve or anything. We're on a grid, so we kind of take that serious here, because when you're on a grid, the accidents are a little bit more impactful. Because when I say we get in accidents, we get into accidents. Like
They're horrible.
they're just not bumped. Oh, I hit you.
Yeah, and then
No,
a fender bender.
no, you're a bumper will fly off, a door will get smashed in, casualty. Unfortunately, sometimes does happen more often than not. And that's only because they're straight open roads and we floor it. But that's how we roll here, and this is what makes us one of the top 3 most dangerous driving cities in our country. So,
Yeah.
but Zaven Collins now is under that. He'll learn soon enough. I do expect him to make big plays with Isaiah Simmons. They're saying that he is just not, if not better than Isaiah Simmons, and I know we were all on Isaiah Simmons basket there. So hopefully with Collins there and Simmons and Chandler Jones probably has a little bit left in the tank as well. We'll see how those linebackers create a nasty defense for the NFC West there. So Chris Carson, Mozart, good luck. And also short news, I guess Rams Cam Akers is no longer there, so that's a little lead block there for you.
I heard they're looking at Todd Gurley.
I heard that too. So, which is very interesting. I don't see it happening. I don't see Todd.
I don't either, but that's just a rumor out there, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be funny if he does.
I would laugh if that happened.
But right now, everyone's shares on Henderson is going up. Akers is looking for the entire season that he could potentially be out. I don't think he's going to come back at all. He might if they somehow make the playoffs, maybe by then. But it looks like Henderson is the guy, and Xavier Jones or Xavier. No, I'm mixing up someone. I know his name's Xavier something. I guess he was a rookie out of last year. They're bringing him in. So regardless, they're gonna face this nasty defense, and with Zaven Collins there, I think he's probably one of the best linebackers coming out of the draft. So, and then the third guy, which was 3 picks later, was your guy out of Washington football team, 19th overall.
From Kentucky.
Yes.
Jamin Davis.
Right. So have you seen any OTAs or anything about that lately? I have not been looking anything. I know maybe you have. It's your team. I just
the last report I saw said look out, Washington football team looking at back-to-back defensive rookie of the year.
Early. That good.
Yeah.
Who's the other linebackers you have there?
That's a great question. We have
was it Landon Collins moved over to linebacker or Cameron Curl?
Supposedly, but I heard they were thinking about moving Landon Collins to linebacker because they like Curl better at strong safety, but I haven't seen any real confirmation on that switch.
Okay.
From anything. Even Sleeper doesn't have Landon Collins as linebacker / safety or cornerback or whatever they put.
Right. I mean, I think that probably until the season starts. I think.
But we have Holcomb. We signed some guy off of the Giants. Needless to say, our linebacking core is probably the weakest link of our defense.
Okay. So he just might be the only one there.
I could see why we picked up a linebacker with our first-round pick.
Okay. But, I mean, your line is still the
line is beast.
Right. So, I mean, a forefront with them and then him back there. You have 2 great safeties. Your corners, I'm not exactly too familiar with. Do you know who's
we have we signed the guy from the Bengals who was the best available free agent corner, and then we signed the guy that played for the Bears, his brother.
Okay.
He's really good too. What's his name? All right. Why can I not think of names?
It's fine.
This is horrible.
It's fine. But I know we didn't do much research.
His last name is Fuller.
Fuller? Okay. All right.
Kendall Fuller.
All right. I know you guys, the forefront was pretty much, pretty disgusting.
Yeah, you go.
So, but Jamin Davis, Jamin Davis, right?
Jamin, yes.
Yeah. So I don't see, I mean, we were shocked that he was drafted that high too. So again, another guy that we potentially see that's something that that they see something in him more than our next guy, which a lot of people can't say his name, Jock.
Jock. That's what I call him.
So Jeremiah Owusu-Komora, he was expected to be the number 2 guy.
The Cleveland Browns got to steal, man.
Oh, definitely, and they got him in the 2nd round and in this 20th pick. So, I mean, the whole first round went. 19 people went ahead of him in the 2nd round. So, which very surprising because out of the film and everything that we've seen and what we saw out of JOK, Koromora is I think one of the best ones there. But all these guys are good. Actually, he's ranked as my number 3 guy over Davis.
Well, every ranking I saw going into the draft had him number 2, and most people had mock drafts of Washington football team drafting him with the 19th pick.
I expected him going there too.
Yeah, that's why when we got Davis, I was like,
okay. I remember watching it, and we're like, oh, Jock is going for sure to Washington. I know you were kind of a little antsy and hyped up about it, like, oh, this is a really good possibility. Yeah. And it didn't happen. And then we're like, what is going on? Like then the questions sort of raised, like, why?
Well, then when he didn't even get drafted in the 1st round, we were like, what?
Yeah, I remember going to bed and like, dude, how is Jock still available?
You even texted me like, is there something we don't know?
Right. So, but Jeremiah Owusu-Komora, he's definitely going to be a big impact player there in the Browns. I mean, the Browns actually, I'm actually not going to bash on them as much. I think this is the first time in a draft that they come in and they're not relying on their 1st round pick to save their team. Right. I think they came in comfortably. They can.
They didn't have to draft a quarterback.
Well, yeah. I mean, Mayfield is definitely underrated. I think he's a lot of people are sleeping on him. So definitely you can get him in the last rounds, but JOK definitely is probably one of those guys you can also get in later rounds for sure in your IDP leagues. But I don't think that people actually realize how good he actually is. And then with that system, I think he's going to be really, really great. I think he's going to make an impact play on his rookie year. So I'm definitely looking at him towards my later rounds after I get my veteran, maybe potentially if either my Micah Parsons, Zayvon Collins, or Jamin Davis is gone, why not? Unfortunately for me, I have my order. I have Parsons, Nick Bolton out of the Chiefs, who I personally think I like a lot better. I think he's a monster. He's a beast. But
he is.
Willie Gay was their 1st round pick last year. As a rookie, sometimes you just don't produce. So he was the only guy there as the only linebacker. Now they're saying that Nick Bolton is a little bit better than Willie Gay. So with both of them back there, it's kind of like they're in the Jamin Davis kind of role where he's the only one back there. So potentially you guys might get another linebacker next season. But Nick Bolton for sure is going to be, I believe, the face of that defense. We're about to see Daniel Sorensen probably retire here soon. Honey Badger, he's still got some left in the tank as well. But and Jones and also Clark, which I think Clark had gotten in trouble this week as well over some weapons and whatnot for having assault weapons carrying on him. Yeah, so again, another potential opportunity for someone to move up, but we'll see how the NFL handles that as well. But Nick Bolton, I think, is going to be a very, very impactful player. He's elusive. He's fast. He's a pretty big guy. So I don't see him not doing anything. So I mean, so we'll see how that goes.
I heard good things coming out of training camp with him too. So
I mean, I have him as my number 2. under Micah Parsons, and then I have JOK, Davis, and then Collins. So that's the way I have it ranked in my personal figure. Looks like, and if it works out for me, it works out for me. But if not, I think Nick Bolton's probably slept on out of these 5 rookie. And then there's Jalen Phillips, who is DN, but he's also kind of like that linebacker secret in sleeper as well. So, and he's the guy out of Miami. So, but yeah, so I forgot that JOK was actually no, I my bad. Nick Bolton was actually kind of put himself in a lucky position. The Ravens had traded the Orlando Brown pick, and the Chiefs actually got lucky with that pick. They actually got lucky and got Nick Bolton. So that trade definitely changed the whole draft outlook of how it was. So. I mean, that's basically those 5 linebackers.
Do you think Nick Bolton can be better than Derek Johnson?
How so? Like just record wise, or just as career?
No, as linebacker, because they play the same position.
I think so. Nick
Derek Bolton, Johnson was like the face of that defense for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, I think that Nick Bolton can actually. I mean, he's I think so.
Oh, I think he'll be better, honestly.
They obviously went in pretty hard, and they got him. Even with that pick, I mean, they could have got anybody else. They could probably gotten another receiver or something like that, but they didn't. So I think Nick Bolton's going to definitely help out in that linebacker core because that defense is that's its weakest link right now.
Mm-hmm. No, it is.
So, but other than that, though. Micah Parsons, number 1. Zaven Collins, number 2. Jamin Davis is number 3. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is the number 4. And Nick Bolton is number 5, according to ranking ADPs and Sleeper. I otherwise have my order a little bit different just because of what I believe in and from what I
have my order different as well.
But what's your order like?
Mine, I have Nick Bolton number 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Over, and who's your number 2? And
my number 2 is Jermaine Davis.
Okay, and that's just not a homer pick, is it?
No, I think that. So I like Micah Parsons a lot, but I feel like he has other people around him in the linebackers
that could eat
up his tackles and take away maybe some of his stats. Whereas if you look at Nick Bolton, nobody. Jermaine Davis, nobody.
No, and that's a strong argument.
Yeah.
I'm not.
And then I have Micah Parsons. No, I have Jock 3, then
okay.
Micah, then Zane Collins.
Yeah. So hopefully Zaven Collins can play this season.
I think he should play. I think it might be. I might be a little reminiscent of Simmons, who we had all that hype and then really didn't do anything until the end of the year last year.
Right. But I mean, he was definitely that's considered felony.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the NFL and the state of Arizona will handle that, but we'll see how that plays out for him. Hopefully he gets to play, and then he's, I don't know, get like you said, hopefully a fine. Let the rookie play. We'll see how he is. But then again, should he be rewarded by playing? I don't know. Maybe just cut his paycheck or something for a couple games. I don't know.
No, he'll get fined, I think, for sure. I don't think anything about that.
You think he'll play almost all 18 games?
Yeah, I think he'll. I mean, I don't know. I don't know
18
how. I haven't heard anything as far as the OTAs, and then we'll see when training camp comes in.
Right, and training camp.
How he's progressing at this level. He might not even start just based off of not showing them enough in practice and whatnot. So.
Right.
That's the tough thing with the rookies too. Is like they have all the potential in the world, but sometimes they just, especially on defense, I find more so than offense, they're not, just thrown in there.
Like Patrick Queen.
Yeah. Exactly.
That was when you mentioned linebackers. Patrick Queen comes to mind. He was the first one. Hey, kid.
But that's why I like Nick Bolton and Jamin Davis, because I feel like week 1 both of them are starting, without a doubt.
Right. No, and those are strong cases. I just think that Micah Parsons is the most athletic one there. So this is why I think he's at number one, and then I have Nick Bolton. So, but no, it looks like you and I value Bolton a lot higher than what his actual ADP is. So, take a look at that, see how you like him in your IDP league.
That could favor us in our draft.
Yeah, it could be potentially you. I know ours draft is in legitly 10 days.
I know. I saw the countdown. I was like, woo-hoo.
So I'm excited for that. That's next Saturday. So it's the following one after that. So after this one. So I'm excited. I know a lot of the IDP leagues probably already are going to start up their redraft leagues here in the next couple of weeks as well. It's draft season. So definitely the dynasties are definitely probably already starting to get at the back end of their drafts already. But I'm excited. I think OTA, or not OTAs, but the actual training camp starts in about 6 days, correct? Like, was it the 26th or 28th or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's 6 days, yes.
Yeah, so we'll see a lot more
26th.
News. Yeah, so I'm excited. We'll see a
Monday.
lot more news come out, yeah. Out of these training camps and see how it goddamn. So we'll see how it happens, and we'll get more news as we get closer. And this is what I love about Dynasty is like you'll draft your players, and then if something happens, you could probably potentially cut them or keep them and see how it goes. Maybe you want to throw him in your taxi squad just because you still feel like he's good. So I think that's pretty much all I have, dude.
Yep, that's about all I got too.
All right. So again, what are we doing next week? Next week we have the draft.
The draft.
So it is kind of a smaller IDP type draft. Typically you have a bigger size bench, but I think next week we're going to have about 4 to 5 slots, only because we don't want to be online all day and all night. So we're going to do offense and defense, and then a couple of benchmarks there just to fill in a couple spaces, kind of like a little bit in depth. So that should be fun. I know some of the guys from the Get Right Fantasy Crew is coming over. I know some of our guys from Nerd Huddle's coming in, and some of our guys from our actual league are coming in. So it's a little bit of everything, a little bit of everywhere. That's going to be next week, the 28th on Wednesday. Mark, you'll be here watching and commentating on the draft. I think we mentioned this last week that you weren't able to get in, but that's okay.
I was not.
But anyways, so
I guess I didn't get the memo on all the people who were invited.
Well, I think actually there was an issue with Sleeper recently. The update, you might want to check it. Actually, there was a recent update on Sleeper that the notifications weren't actually pushed out. So if you want to go to your profile and your settings and see if it's actually fully updated to the new update, check.
Well, I got the notifications about it. I didn't realize how many people were coming in, so I thought I had. So that was my own fault. I'm not blaming anybody else but myself.
they filled up pretty quick, man.
It did.
So I think
it was. Let me know. You're like, just so you know, I think the draft is full. I was like, what?
Yeah, it filled up like literally that day.
Yeah, I went in there. I was like, oh, nice.
So, but it's okay. You can watch the draft. You can commentate on where you think. Like honestly, I'm excited what you'll think of some of these draft picks. You'll notice who might go early, who might go late. Would you have done that? So I think we'll have Anthony and Mike here with us. He's actually out in New York, and he's their writer for Get Right Fantasy. So,
nice.
Yeah. So, anyways, that is it. So, good evening, good night, good morning, wherever the hell you're at. This is Dynasty Pylon. It's draft season. So good luck to you guys. And we will catch you guys next week in our IDP mock draft.
Getting hype when I aim up. Elevating that game up. Stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things face up on my plate. Game face when I step up in the place. I was born and when I watched me elevate.